This is episode 2 of the Butt Chronicles, and we take a look at Beavis and Butt-Head, episode 2, Peace, Love, and Understanding.
Welcome to Industrial Industries World Radio's The Butt Chronicles.
You said welcome.
Oh God.
Well, hello there, ladies, gentlemen, and butt munches alike. Welcome to the Butt Chronicles, your audio guide for everything Beavis and Butt-Head. And I'm your host, DJ Glowing Ice. This episode, we're going to be taking a look at the second of 2 Beavis and Butt-Head pilot episodes. This one's called Peace, Love, and Understanding. So we go back to 1992, when Peace, Love, and Understanding was funded by Spike and Mike of Spike and Mike's Sick and Twisted Film Festival. And then it first hit MTV's airwaves on their show Liquid Television on November 17th, 1992. And then it aired on the MTV Beavis and Butt-Head series on March 10th, 1993. Now, let's see what happens in episode 2, Beavis and Butt-Head, in Peace, Love, and Understanding. The first thing we see is the Beavis and Butt-Head title screen, and then it switches to the title screen of the episode, which simply reads, Peace, Love, and Understanding. Then it fades into Beavis and Butt-Head's TV, showing a small man in a tropical paradise with 2 women in bikinis on each side. The man on the TV is talking about his wealth training seminar to learn how to make a lot of money. It then shows Beavis and Butt-Head sitting on the couch, Butt-Head laughing as Beavis is sniffing modeling glue. Butt-Head snatches the glue from Beavis and starts sniffing it himself. Butt-Head then pulls his eyelids tight to imitate the man on the TV, and does a voice and says, "Me happy boy." After doing more of the imitation, he says that was cool. The TV then shows a commercial for a monster truck heavy metal tractor pull thrashathon. Beavis and Butt-Head have their eyes wide open, very enthused as they watch the commercial. The announcer in the commercial says, "Huge monster trucks tearing ass all night long. Ticket price pays for the whole seat, but you'll only need the edge." Butt-Head says it's cool, and we're there, dude. Beavis says, yeah. Cut to a shot of the outside of the stadium with a sign displaying All-Star Monster Truck Thrashathon as it slowly zooms into the stadium. It cuts to Beavis and Butt-Head sitting on the stands with a bunch of hillbillies behind them. Between laughs, Butt-Head says to Beavis, "What if we put a stick of dynamite in somebody's butt and then you lit it? That would be cool." Then cut to a monster truck in front of a blue car. The announcer says, "Get your cameras ready for this one, folks, cause the Scrotalizer is about to take on a brand new 1992 Hyundai XL. Yes, Hyundai." A close-up shot of the car shows a stuffed animal of Garfield the cat suction cupped to the back passenger seat window. The monster truck then smashes its front wheel onto the Hyundai, crushing it completely. Beavis and Butt-Head are both headbanging in the stands, along with the hillbillies around them cheering. It then cuts to Beavis and Butt-Head in frame, with a woman sitting next to them. Butt-Head puts his hand on her arm and says, "Hey baby, wanna sniff some glue?" Then laughs. It then goes back to a shot of the monster truck ring, with a man standing in the center with a microphone and acoustic guitar. The announcer introduces the man as the musical guest, David Van Driesen. Van Driesen leans into the microphone and asks for everyone's attention. He reminds them that today is Earth Day and asks for everyone to mellow out and join hands as he plays a song. While Van Driesen is talking, it cuts to Beavis and Butt-Head booing. The other hillbillies in the crowd are flipping the middle finger and yelling, "You suck." Over the yelling, Van Driesen starts singing and playing his guitar. As he sings "Plant a Tree, Save the Trees," a monster truck named the Pile Driver drives towards Van Driesen with its front wheels in the air. It sucks Van Driesen into the tires, shooting his blood and guts out from the back of the truck. Beavis and Butt-Head yell, "Yes!" and the crowd cheers on. The announcer states that the pile driver is going out of control and heads towards a line of porta potties. As the pile driver is crushing two of the porta potties, a brownish-greenish cloud, along with a fart noise, comes from the demolished porta potties. The cloud becomes larger and develops an angry face. Heavenly music starts playing and Beavis and Butt-Head are wide-eyed. Butt-Head says, "It's Sterculius, the Roman god of feces." Sterculius, hovering above the monster truck ring, says, "I am Sterculius, god of feces. You have desecrated my temple. You offend me. Prepare to feel the brunt of my wrath." Sterculius then rises up out of the stadium into the sky. And the final scene of this episode is a shot of the entire stadium as two loads of feces are dropped into the stadium from above, along with fart noises. The theme music plays, and then it fades into a card saying, "To be discontinued." It then shows the credits, which shows Spike Decker of Spike and Mike credited for the idea of the short. Mike Judge is credited for creating the characters, along with the animation, music, and voices. A handful of others are credited for animation cell painting, audio work, and editing. And a thanks goes out to Bob Patterson and DNA Productions. So that's what happens in episode 2 of Beavis and Butt-Head, Peace, Love, and Understanding. Now, let's take a look at the music videos that were in this episode. First music video, we have Joey Lawrence, "Nothing My Love Can't Fix." Butt-Head says, "It's the dude from Blossom. What a puss." He then changes the channel. Then we got Biz Markie with "Spring Again." The music video has the lyrics displayed on the screen, and Butt-Head says, "That would be cool if you could, read." Then they change the channel. Next is Jane's Addiction with "Been Caught Stealin'." The boys like the video and headbang to it. Butt-Head calls one of the ladies in the video Beavis's mom. Beavis calls Butt-Head a chode smoker. Then we got the video for Motley Crue, "Kickstart My Heart." The boys headbang to it and think the video is cool. Butt-Head says, "These guys jam," but then later says, "These guys are wussies." Next is Bob Geldof with the great song of Indifference. Butt-Head says, "Check it out. A hippie." Beavis says, "Hippies suck." They're disgusted at first, and then they jam to it for a little bit, and then they wind up changing it. Next, we got Sir Mix-a-Lot with "Baby Got Back." The boys laugh at it for a little bit, and then they change the channel. It then goes to LL Cool J with "Big Ol' Butt." They laugh again, and then change it. Then it cuts to Rex in Effect with "Rump Shaker." Butt-Head says, "I like rap songs about butts." The boys enjoy watching the women in bikinis in the video, and then change it. Then we got Guns N' Roses with "Paradise City." Butt-Head says, "Axl is cool." The boys imitate the guitar riff. They headbang to the song and like it. Then the last music video, we have Don Johnson with "Heartbeat." Butt-Head says, "This is stupid," then changes it. So there we have it with the music videos. Now let's take a look at the behind-the-scenes stuff with this episode. Just like the first Beavis and Butt-Head episode, Frog Baseball, this episode as well was done all by Mike Judge inside his house. Besides Beavis, David Van Driesen is Mike Judge's favorite character to do the voice for. Van Driesen's character, at least his voice, came from when Mike was playing bass for Sam Myers. Mike was hanging out when a reporter from the Santa Barbara Blues Society started interviewing Sam. This reporter had a voice that Mike wound up imitating as Van Driesen. This reporter asked questions like how it must have been wonderful to come from the South and to travel to Europe and experience their culture. Later on in the Beavis and Butt-Head series, Van Driesen is Beavis and Butt-Head's hippie teacher. He has long hair, wears glasses, and is seen for the most part wearing a shirt with a peace symbol on it. In this episode of Peace, Love, and Understanding, though, he's wearing a tie-dye t-shirt. David Van Driesen is one of the few people who is patient and treats the two boys with kindness. Mike Judge has said that he's better drawing faces and characters more than buildings and cars, so he had trouble drawing a car from his own imagination. He wound up looking through car ads in the newspaper and traced the Hyundai Excel that wound up being crushed by the monster truck in the episode right from a photo off the newspaper. Now, as I said before, Peace, Love, and Understanding is the second of the 2 pilot episodes of Beavis and Butt-Head, and it was reran as the 3rd episode in the official Beavis and Butt-Head series on March 10th, 1993. That's your behind-the-scenes look at this episode. Now let's check out the fun facts. This episode marks the first appearance of David Van Driesen, and even though he's killed in this episode, he comes back as a mainstay character in the series. This has led to some people claiming that this episode is the absolute official ending of Beavis and Butt-Head, at least with Van Driesen in the series. Certain parts of this episode were cut when it was shown on MTV. The parts that were cut are as follows. The close-up shot of Butt-Head sniffing modeling glue, Butt-Head doing the Me Happy Boy voice impersonation, a phone number flashing during the monster truck commercial. When Butt-Head puts his hand on the woman's arm in the crowd, he says, "Hey baby, wanna sniff some glue?" In the MTV version, Butt-Head only says, "Hey baby." When the announcer says Hyundai Excel, Hyundai is cut for trademark purposes, so the car is only announced as an Excel. The final thing that was cut in the MTV version was when Van Driesen was playing his song and the crowd is flipping him off. The middle fingers are erased from this scene, so they look like they're just shaking their fists instead. The uncensored version of this episode was released on Spike and Mike's Sick and Twisted Festival of Animation, Volume 1, on VHS. Mike Judge has said that this is one of the earlier Beavis and Butt-Head episodes that he doesn't really like. Now let's get into what I think about this episode as a fan. My thoughts on Peace, Love, and Understanding are, I love it. I like it a lot better than Frog Baseball. Because this one, there's different places they're at. There's more variety. They're at the stadium, and there's just a lot of more action happening, and David Van Driesen, there's just a lot more to it than Frog Baseball. It's a bit more over the top than Frog Baseball, but between these 2 pilots, I prefer this episode more. And the highlights for me in this episode are just the monster truck rally commercial, the David Van Driesen, everybody flipping him off and booing the hippie playing at this monster truck rally. Also, the little details inside of the stadium, like there's ads for things inside the stadium for Skoal chewing tobacco, another ad for a welding supply place, that. It just fits everything perfectly with where Beavis and Butt-Head are and all the characters around them. My relationship with this episode is much like Frog Baseball. I didn't see it for the longest time, and this is the one pilot that really isn't available on any kind of Beavis and Butt-Head release, so it's much harder to find. I was able to find a few things on YouTube and some other websites, and I finally found the unedited version and saw it for the very first time actually recently, and I love it even more. So as someone who had seen the later stuff and then gone back and watched this and still loved it, I'm going to have to give this one a 10 out of 10. It's one of my favorites. It's a classic in my book. So that is it. That's my review of Beavis and Butt-Head Episode 2, Peace, Love, and Understanding. That concludes this episode of the Butt Chronicles as we went over Beavis and Butt-Head Episode 2, the second pilot episode, Peace, Love, and Understanding. Did you like this episode? Have you been able to actually see the uncut version? It's really good. I definitely recommend it. We have a Butt Chronicles Facebook page, so you could search that. If you have an Instagram, you could follow us at IIWR Podcast. Check up on all the updates there. And if you need to email, you can email us at industrialindustriesworldradio@gmail.com. If you also want to check out the flagship podcast that we have in this network, just search Industrial Industries World Radio, and we have the history of all kinds of different things and such. And we go deep, just like we do the episodes here. So if you want to know the history of the Sky Bar candy bar, Toys R Us, Reese's peanut butter cups, why we celebrate birthdays, all kinds of stuff, you can check that out. Industrial Industries World Radio. Tune in next week as we get into the very first season of Beavis and Butt-Head on MTV. So make sure to tune in for that. I am your host, DJ Glowing Ice, and this has been the Butt Chronicles, your audio guide for everything Beavis and Butt-Head. See you next time.